observing something where I felt like I would actually push the whole craft forwards. I could give people something that they would enjoy.
Folks, we already know the two teams that are going to be going to the major, but who is going to get King's share of the $300,000? My name is Rich. I'm going to be your host, and I'm joined by Nahaz and Kyle, the exact panel that I wanted to end the day with, Kyle. Exactly what I wanted. But the question is, are these teams going to get exactly what they want? Because only one can. Who do we think is going to be able to take it? We're going to have some stats to back this up. NIP versus Alliance, Nahaz.
All EU final, all NA panel. It was bound to be Reddit. Now, this series has taken a turn because you go back all the way 4 months to ESL Katowice, and NIP took 9 straight maps against Alliance, 5 straight series. All of a sudden, Alliance having won 2 out of the last 3, upsetting NIP in the Epicenter Major Qualifiers, as well as the win here. 2-1 those series, going the distance, as have all Alliance's series throughout this tournament.
Yeah, I've said that they are the dirtiest boys in this tournament, Kyle. Do you agree?
That's definitely not true. But I think that Alliance, now that they've made the major, now that they can relax, right, I think I'd favor them. Because I think this team is going to do a lot better when the pressure is off and they can just play Dota, you know? They put so much pressure on themselves to end games properly when they could just simplify things a bit. And I think that it's going to be a lot easier to do that now that they can just play for cash, play for the title.
So you think it was a pressure thing? You think that maybe they were choking, maybe the reason that they haven't been able to close out some of these matches is just because of the exorbitant amount of pressure that was on them?
I do. I think you can even see that like every series going 2-1. And yeah, they won all of them, but they were this close, remember, to losing to Winstrike.
Yeah. It's also about the kind of Dota they play, right? This is a team that likes to battle. They play momentum Dota, and I mean, we don't always get it right when we're on the panel together, Kyle. But
often we get it wrong.
I felt like we got it right by the end of that series the other day. Is that we talked about you pick the team that is going to have solid lanes, is just going to be able to run at the opponent. That's what this Alliance squad likes to do. And you saw NIP, though, show a little bit more of that look in this convincing series this morning against Sirius.
I like that they picked Gyro for Fada. It's one of his staple heroes, and I think it fits what the message of this patch still is, which is be able to fight early around that like 10-minute catapult, 15-minute bounties. Think about Roche. You can buy BKB if it's needed. Tons of split down, like just tons of team fight. You have disable, like it's just a perfect hero for Fada, and it is able to be active, able to control. You can just control the map, and that's Dota.
You know, Kyle, while we're talking about this draft, you were really one of the panelists who was very outspoken about the idea of NIP allowing certain things through for other teams, and basically saying, you know what, we know what you want. We'd rather not have the unknown. Hang out with your preferred heroes, and we're just going to find a way to counter. And that was how they were drafting. Very, very reliant on that counter, figuring out if it works in the first game. If it doesn't work, they have to go on a 2-game streak. Do you expect to see that again in this series when they're going up against Alliance?
I do and I don't. I think certain heroes you've got to just keep out of the pool, notably the Lone Druid. I wouldn't be surprised to see it sneak through.
Okay.
But that's the one I would key on. I think that Alliance plays so much better when they have easy ways to take objectives. Leshrac is another one I'm looking at. Nyx Assassin for both sides. Other than that, I think you just kind of get a read on what you're doing. And Nip were willing to do new stuff earlier today, the Zeus 4, the Gyro mid. So I'd like to see them continue to expand on that. I think they have the most unique, or largest and most diverse hero pool so far at this tournament as well.
Yeah, I think that is something that we've definitely seen Alliance, when we talk about their hero pool, what has it really looked like?
Well, Alliance has always been a team throughout the season, and this tournament is no exception. Their hero pool is just big enough. They have just enough flex picks early on in their draft at the 3-4 position, especially. They have just enough of a hero pool in their 1 and 2 position that you can't ban out everything. NIP, by contrast, of course, what we're talking about here, one of the largest hero pools in professional Dota. Ton of variation when you've got 33 that can play heroes like Brood, when you can pull out an ace Meepo at the end of the draft. This is a team that has a lot of tools for Peter. And you talk about this draft philosophy, this is something that Puppy's been doing all the way back to TI2. He's going to let you have what you want, and he's going to beat it. And I just got done doing an interview about this, about certain other pro teams. I think that's part of what they bring in value as a captain. They are the lightning rods. The drafts are either going to work or they're not. They're going to get either all of the credit or they're going to get all the blame, and the 4 other players, they can just play Dota.
Well, Kyle, I'm going to throw this question at you for no particular reason. He said just big enough, and sometimes it's hard to figure out just how big is right. And when you do look at a team like this, when we're on a new patch, sometimes it seems like size might actually be king. But I'm just getting notification that the players are going to be taking the stage. When we get back, we'll be able to talk about that a little bit more. I think that this is an area that Kyle really can shine some light on, but I'm more excited to shine some light on these players, see what they're going to be able to do. $300,000 on the line. These are the 2 teams that you're going to be looking at in the major. They want to make some waves. Let's see what they can get going.
Please welcome on stage Team Ninjas in Pyjamas. Please welcome on stage Team Alliance.
All right, folks, the players have taken the stage, and now we are going to get to do the work of trying to predict who is going to be able to take it. I do want to note, though, very quickly before we jump into that, Sirius, who was just 1 series away from making it here in the place of NIP, who was able to take them down. That started to be the pick for a little while from people on the desk really getting hyped up. What is it that has proven that they're not that caliber of team that we thought that maybe they were, and that NIP is able to not only make it to the finals, but out of the lower bracket, do it in a dominant fashion?
Well, part of just what you see at a lot of these majors is that the quality of play is very uneven, and you saw a couple teams in Mineski and Complexity that really it didn't show up with the level of Dota that we expect from those brands in the first days of the tournament. Sirius played them and looked really good and was able to exploit a lot of those mistakes. But then, again, so much about Dota. This is true in every new patch and every unstable meta. When in doubt, you go aggressive. But I think it's going to particularly end up being true in this meta all the way up to TI. This is a pressure meta. This is you draft a lineup that can get an advantage and just can relentlessly run at an opponent. And when you get put under pressure, mistakes get magnified. And I think that's what you saw in the last 2 games.
Okay, I definitely think that's important to keep your minds on. Also, everybody in the Twitch chat, we want you to use those minds to actually place your votes in the chat. You can vote for each of these teams. I saw a lot of Alliance fans saying they've been waiting a long time for this, so rise up, vote in the chat for Alliance, and then also you can vote for NIP. Let us know who you think is going to take it. Now, Kyle, what is your opinion of the 2 squads on the stage right now? A lot of people have said, you look at NIP, they're a Tier 1 team in a Tier 2 tournament. They haven't been saying that about Alliance.
It's true, and it's funny because I think Alliance, like individually, has a lot more potential. Like I think that the 3 cores specifically, I think have the ability to become like the best in the world. Notably, Mickey and Boxy. Koifa's real old, so he's probably closer to his peak. But these kids are like super young. They're still new to the game relatively. You look at Puppy, you look at Peter. They've been at this for like 6 and 9 years respectively. Whereas Mickey and Boxy, it's like year 2.5 right now. They're still growing, and there's still a lot of heroes like they don't even like play yet. But if they can just put it together, man, just it's like they're like an uncut diamond, But they'll get there. A little bit of polish, and they'll shine.
Truly inspirational, Kyle. So would you agree, Nahaz? Do you think that when you look at the potential of these teams, obviously that's not something that's going to be critically important right now for this series, but when we do look big picture, which is one of the reasons we even do have these minors, right? It's a proving grounds. Also, it's that focal point to actually send teams to the major to try to rack up those DPC points and get their year going. Do you think that there is a little bit of extra potential with some of these younger guys?
I think Kyle's right about that. I think it's interesting to me that these are just 2 completely different teams. Alliance is built around enabling these 2 incredibly high ceiling, incredible talent level young cores in Boxy and in Mike. And I know internally they're also still quite high on Taiga as well. They think that he has not necessarily shown his best Dota on the world stage. It's a team that has come in this tournament as all year long with very well-defined problems, namely, can you close out games? Can you get multiple heroes all farmed up as the game progresses? Can you continue making good decisions as the game starts to go into the later phases, as they've shown that they can play strategically soundly in the mid game? We knew that. NIP on the other side built around giving this one of the all-time great captain and drafters in Dota 2 just a lot of tools to work with. And I think 33, when you talk about a guy that is still young, is still, I think, not yet reached the peak of his career.
33 is like 27.
I'm at this level of Dota, though, nobody
He's not
nobody
actually
knew
27.
who he was.
You don't know how old he is.
I have no idea how old he is. Why would you throw that out there? If you okay, all right. Thank you, Kyle.
I'm just trying to keep you on your toes, all right?
I did not. All right.
Everyone's young in comparison to you, Alan, but that doesn't mean that they necessarily.
So I felt really old in other esports.
Yeah.
I came over to Dota. I feel like a young buck.
Right?
I'm a young stag over here. I love it. Running free, man.
Red Eye, are you free this afternoon? Because he's older than me, all right? Get out of here.
If you guys go out to lunch together, you probably get those discounts, right? That's got to be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
But they have to go before 5 p.m. I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
Oh, the early birds.
The early birds. Kyle, speaking of early birds, you definitely want to be the early bird in this series, locking up that first game as quickly as possible. Keep in mind, now that we have moved over to the final, this is going to be the first best of 5 of the tournament.
True.
So that is definitely going to have an effect, especially when we do talk about the way that we've seen NIP draft, right? It's a little bit more volatile in a best of 3 if you're potentially going for a counter that's untested.
It's also kind of a free series, right? They're playing for 20 DPC points, which get washed because they're both making it to the major, and 50 grand, 120 to first, 70 to second. There's no need to feel pressure, feel panic. And I think we're going to see this as kind of a testing grounds for a lot of different strategies. Maybe there's some, especially because it's a longer series, to your point. You could drop a game or take a game with something special, and it's lower impact on the overall series. It's tough to take risks when you know if you lose one game, you're one away from elimination.
So I want to ask Kyle, or sorry, I want to ask Nahaz right now. Kyle, you're on a roll right now. So I actually don't. I'm gonna probably ask you less questions right now because right now it's keeping it right in the chat. I don't want it to switch to keeping it wrong.
Got it.
So I'm gonna throw this one over to Nahaz. When you think about how this functions, because we've never actually talked about this before. Usually in a minor, this is the highest stakes matchup, not even because of money, because you're trying to get to the major. So the entire dynamic has shifted when we look at this. Is this the most valuable practice that you can have, or is this one of the most dangerous places to potentially show your hand for teams that are already vying for their spot in the major, already thinking about DPC points, let alone what they're doing in this series?
I don't think you're saving strats. I really don't. Honestly, you look at this patch, I feel like there is so much out there yet to be discovered. There's so many ideas that you've heard theory crafted backstage that we haven't seen in any of the drafts yet. You know, I think that these two teams are going to treat this as an incredibly competitive scrim, which, by the way, $10,000 a player, which is the difference between first and second. It's not some bad money for a best-of-5 series here. I think that this is going to be very, very competitive, if nothing else, because these two teams have had an incredible rivalry that's gone on throughout this season. NIP has, in a lot of these European qualifiers, been kind of the final boss for Alliance. So I think that there's a lot of the stage is set for some really, really great Dota.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that you're not going to see like some crazy cheese, right? But I'd like to see these teams try out, not the solved meta cores, but below the S tier, below even the A tier, right? You saw Gyro be not a TA, not an Ember, not a Medusa. These heroes we all understand, but let's see what Gyro mid can do. Same way if you look at the offlane pool, right? 3-3, he plays with me, Night Stalker, Sand King, a lot of these cores that push lanes provide vision. Let's expand a bit. Let me see some StarLadder, perhaps. I'd love to see one of these two teams pick that up in the series. Same goes with different cores. We've seen enough Animage, and Spectre, and Ember, and Naga. What else is left? Is Slark pickable? There's been a couple of bans of it so far in this tournament. I'm not sure if that hero's good, but in a perfect Slark game, like, is that hero actually viable? This is the sort of place where you would be able to test that out and learn a lesson even if you lose.
No, I think that's right, and I think it's one of the things that makes these drafts so much fun to break down is that these two teams have their own very distinctive styles and put their stamps on things. I mean, you look at NIP first phase banning Viper in 2 of the 3 games against Alliance in the previous series, right? That's not something that any other team is doing. You look at Alliance playing off-lane Tiny at the very end of the draft, specifically to threaten that ace Animage.
To expand upon that, there's certain, if you look at what makes heroes good, a lot of times it's, okay, what's their role? What does this role, what's its role in the game?
In this, in
what
this
do you want
game.
it to do
right.
for you, right? So the Bristleback, as an example, NIP love, sort of fits this concept of cores that scale in survivability and damage output so that they're able to frontline, similar to, Trolls, even Nagas to an extent, strength heroes, whatever. I think the other hero, I just lost it. The Wraith King, right? And a lot of other cores, Midas Radiance. This is a very good combination of items, right? Even just Midas on Sven.
Well, heck, even we saw what Omni Knight from Alliance, right?
Yeah. What carries can buy Midas? The ones that are usually either strength heroes or have survivability talents. I get phase boots because of the free armor. One of those that I think can immediately be plugged into this patch is Bloodseeker.
That is one of the heroes that I've heard backstage some theory crafting going on about. We even saw it, some evidence Sirius might have been considering in the last series.
It's also, what does safe laners need? You see like this Naga picked up all the time. He's got like 11 base armor. Bloodseeker, I think, has 7 or 8. In addition, you have built-in sustain, you've got wave clear, and more importantly, this pace, right? Think about the Sumail Lesh back in Birmingham, how he's running across the map at light speed. Everyone picking up Darkseer first 2. These heroes that can just fast travel, right?
Yeah.
It's like you're trying to play like you're in season 1 of Game of Thrones, But then all of a sudden, we're in Season 8, and this dragon is flying from like the south of the island to the wall in like the span of 10 minutes in the episode. You just can't compete with that or really make sense of it. But
You can make sense of it in Dota, definitely not in Game of Thrones. What a. Let's definitely. I think that there's one thing that we can all agree on, because I see a lot of people in chat going back and forth. If you hit @Kyle, it's either instantly @Kyle is wrong yet again or @Kyle is right Pog. So you basically get to vote in real time if you push
pretty cool.
@Kyle. It's actually one of the coolest things ever. But I think there's one thing that we can agree upon. We want to watch a series, no matter who we're fans of in this, that is better than Game of Thrones Season 8.
Yeah.
I think we all agree on
100%.
I feel like it's already better.
By the way, I have to admit,
the stage could explode right now,
and it would be better, right?
it just rain garbage
Yeah.
from the sky. And it would
At least
better.
that'd be a plot twist we didn't see coming.
No, I mean, Kyle and I could do every panel at the major, and it would still be better than that.
Well, let's not go that far.
All right, fair enough.
God,
Reddit might explode.
do you know we're actually working the major together, though? I don't know who's hiring. Well,
Yeah.
Nahaz. But
I don't know much about
I don't know
hiring.
either.
I'm more proficient in getting fired personally.
how would you? Do you have any stories about getting fired, real quick, before we hit the draft? Like, what's the,
honestly, the only fire that we need to talk about right now is these teams getting fired up, because the draft is getting started.
Genius.
The initial bans are coming out. And what are we thinking of these thus far, Nahaz?
So a little bit different from NIP, looking like going to be the same bands out of Alliance that we saw yesterday in the Darkseer and the Nix Assassin coming out first. Ninjas in Pyjamas has shifted things up a little bit. The Taiga Earth Spirit is not something that we've seen a lot of in this tournament for Alliance, but they did bring us out yesterday. And it's just one of those picks that the entire team is just super confident in that hero.
Yeah, I like the Sven ban as well, because it's just not something you want to first pick as NIP. And I know they got away with it in the last series, but it's just something that I respect. You know, Peter doesn't often like to repeat openers. You know, he's not Bulba, who has a different concept of like, we pick to our strengths and that's that. If you're going to win games consistently as Nip, I think he's recognized he's got to kind of keep it fresh and use new ideas per series.
Real quick, though, they have made the decision to leave in 2 heroes that they banned out in all 3 games against Alliance. That is the Oracle and the Troll Warlord.
Yeah. I don't think once you ban, it's because Alliance is banning Darkseer, right? And I think that drops Oracle in ban priority. And if you ban Bat yourselves, like Nip just did, I don't think you mind Oracle too much, because it's similar to your point when you said like Nyx. When you pick Nyx, it's like 5 bans, right? If you pick Oracle, it bans like 3 heroes. And if you're gonna first pick Chen, you definitely don't care about these super weak early game supports that have no method of dealing with the Chen army that could be diving towers at a moment's notice.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I am thinking Chen could definitely have a role in this patch. He is, provided his early game goes at least decently well, he could be the best tier 1 tower pusher in the game between 8 and 15 minutes. And
Nah, that's Lone Druid in Leshrac. And I think that'll be...
Lone Druid, all right, we'll have this argument off camera, because that hero is still like in my A tier, but fallen a little bit. This is interesting. So Alliance is going to go for Grimstroke, which is a hero that they've... All right, so instead of the Oracle Troll, in a possible nod to what Kyle was saying, you want to have a hero that does have some ability to deep push, control the lanes.
And
so you want the Grimstroke, but they're still going to take the Mike Troll Warlord.
It's good synergy.
Also the possibility they might move the Troll mid at some point.
Troll's very good against creeps in general, because you hit him with the AoE mischance. In addition, you're going to get Inkswell move forwards. You'll stun creep Chen and his army. And Inkswell, of course, doing plus damage per unit hit. So, you know, 10 creeps just equals bonus damage.
Yeah.
There's the gyro. I like that.
First, moving it up to the first phase already.
Dude, this is one
we
of
saw it as a last pick. We saw it in the second phase, and now moving it up.
Think of gyro as like a discount Leshrac in some ways, where you trade tower pressure for more damage, targeted stun, and team fight, right?
Yep.
You drop the call down. It's like you have so much disable built in, low cooldowns, and you shove lanes really quickly. Chen army summons you in. You're a natural BKB buyer, and I think that these heroes that get that early BKB, you know, about the 15-20 minute mark, fighting around Roche becomes easy. They're nigh indestructible, and heroes like Troll, later on in the game, you will eat gyro, but it takes time. Gyro's going to be online at least 5 to 10 minutes before the Alliance core, and I think that Nip could be able to abuse that to get a heavy lead, but it is just the opener so far.
Well, yeah, out of curiosity, with where it's currently at, I believe, Alan, you've used the phrase hot garbage a few times throughout this tournament. Would you apply hot garbage to Wiz? Could you ever go for the IO gyro combo?
I definitely think it's still on the table, especially if you're talking about a gyrocopter. But it really goes back to what Kyle just said about how you're going to play the gyro and the tempo at which you're gonna use that hero. You look at the last series; that was the first time, game 1 of the last series, that on record we have that gyro built Rod of Atos in a professional Dota 2 game. And he went 2 Wraith Brands straight into BKB and went that Atos. They are really trying to exploit this portion of the mid game where gyro's spell damage ramps up, not his right click.
And not just that, it's that concept of just getting stats, right? These heroes that can just buy raw stats.
The double crown build up.
Exactly. We saw Leshrac doing this. That's part of the reason the hero got so powerful so quickly. I feel like it's because you're increasing your farming speed. You can stay on map better. You have like a mana pool, but you just get free HP. And Gyrocopter, especially with the Treads build, like you're just too strong. You have 1,600 health. It's like 12 minutes into the game, and you represent so much magic damage.
And then the icing on the cake, and the reason, I mean, you called this, I think, we were talking about this shortly after that change came out, but the single most significant thing about Atos now versus Atos some time ago is that it stops TP.
True.
The icing on the cake is that it gives Gyro a way to instantly stop TP, so he can convert these kills.
It's a mega long range too, and it sets up, and that's also, by the way, why I like Bloodseeker, because I actually think Atos is the item where you get, you go like phase double crown or phase Wraithband crown. You get a Midas if you need it. Otherwise, you just go like Atos into Radiance or just fighting items, and you land your spell. Like you have this huge AoE, use Atos into Call Down, Atos into Blood Right, and it's just like, oh, what now? So it forces you need to buy 4 staffs against this hero just because he bought this very stat efficient item that also has all this utility attached.
Wow, by the way, we are into the second phase of the draft, and Lone Druid is still in the pool. I thought Lone Druid was going to be a ban for one side or the other here. The Night Stalker ban, you definitely cannot argue with. Naga Siren, I'm still a little bit on the fence about, although Kyle, you've argued to me that this hero is the best laning carry in Dota right now.
When you play against NIP, you've got to get rid of these heroes that can push lanes and acquire map control for free. 4 bans of Alliance are targeted on these heroes.
I'm just not...
Darkseer and Naga can push lanes without showing. They just throw their spells and they apply pressure. Naga, the worst culprit.
I'm just a little
bit... Nyx and Night Stalker provide tons of vision that NIP can play around.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit... anxious about illusion heroes in this patch. I think the change that you can lifesteal off illusions bothers me a little bit. I think there are a lot of matchups in the past that Naga's been very great at that she's not as strong about. But let's get off that, because this Earthshaker is probably, as an individual hero, so he's probably Alliance's strongest hero coming into this tournament on the season. Taiga was 15-5. Boxy was 7-3 on this hero on the year, and that kind of flex value, And it's still, by the way, this could easily be this is probably a Grimstroke 5, so you don't know as NIP where this Earthshaker is going to be.
I agree. I like it, and I just want to final point. Oh, nice. Just easy. If there's a shaker, pick the Rubik. Also one of the best roamers with Chen, and excellent to play around Gyrocopter as well. You rock it, there's a Rubik there. Bolt lift, toss back, all of a sudden you've got 2 stuns and a ton of magic damage hitting this mid hero.
So are you mentioned one of the words that I'm really intrigued by right now. Do you think going into the Mage, do you think roaming's back?
Of course.
Okay. Because roaming has been, over the last 2 years, last 3 years really, it's been in and out of the meta, and it's been incredibly influential because some of the superstar elite players at the 4 position, your crits, I'm thinking about, have looked like gods when roaming was featured in the meta and haven't necessarily had the same game impact when it's not. I think it's back.
Yeah, it's mostly just because I think dual lanes, like this idea you have to dual lane, has died. People are tri-laning now, they're going aggressive a lot more. And it's a scenario where it's very easy as a 4 position. I think you're way more likely to have impact. And it's funny because I had this argument with my brother a couple months ago because he stresses like laning and he wants to lane and beat people, get denies. And I've always stressed this concept of just buy boots and just you have a no lose scenario. If you want to contribute to the lane, go pull the creeps. Drag them around, go rotate mid, hunt the courier. As a 4 position, you give yourself a lot more options if you're willing to shuffle between lanes. Teleport ganks are also effective. TPing in from Fountain after you die to fill your mid player's bottle to bring him items. There's all these little things that supports can do now to give efficiency and help their teammates get into the game. And then later, once the core is online and why we see all these mid heroes that can rotate, someone that's under-leveled, the 4 or the 5, now they sit mid, they can recover.
Okay, and we're going to circle back. This is a hero that we have not seen a lot of from Alliance in this tournament. The Boxy Centaur. It's interesting. I had a talk with Loda early on in the tournament about this hero because I think it suits their playstyle really well. They had lost confidence in the Centaur for a period of time because there were a period around the middle of the season. There were some personal things involved. Team wasn't playing well as a whole, and they had a string of really bad Centaur games.
Yeah.
And they lost faith in it. I actually really like seeing them go back into it here.
I do want to go back to an idea that Kyle brought up really early on in the Lone Druid. You said something interesting, and I kind of want to know what it means about the draft to you. You said you felt like it should get banned, right, because of how strong it is for them, but you felt like it might get through. Why do you have a feeling like something like that could happen?
I just think it's a hero that, like, you know what Lone Druid does, right? You know what it wants to do.
Yep.
It's going to try and take towers around early catapults, pressure, buy like a mask on bear, eventually go for a Radiance. The timings that are exploitable are in the very early game. Like, the hero does feed to heavy magic damage pressure if you rotate on him. And in addition, if you can exploit the map while he's trying to recover and get a Radiance, you know, you're playing like 4v5. And there's certain heroes like Gyrocopter, actually, I think is quite adept at doing this because you buy BKB early on, so by the time the Radiance is up, you will have BKB, and you just go for the Lone Druid, and he cannot stop you, and there's no defensive mechanisms. And while he's very tanky, sure, the magic damage is not there yet.
Oh, there's the other hero that we really
About
like.
time.
Yeah.
That hero is, again, perfect synergy with the Chen. This is a very reminiscent of like a secret draft, right?
For
You
sure.
think about
That's
it.
exactly where I was
Yeah.
just going to go. That this Leshrac is it gives tremendous flex value to the rest of the draft. It can be run at probably run at the 2 position, but that's
the
where
thing
we
is,
see them run gyro.
The flex value, I think it's going to be your 3 here, but because you're
Well,
going
you
to
don't
have
know.
to pick.
That's the thing.
They have to pick first.
Depending,
so
yeah, that's true. That's true.
and they're going to last pick an ace hero, and the gyro's going to go mid. But to your point, it could be anywhere, but I like it because it's this same concept of you spend your gold very efficiently. The one big change that we're still feeling the ramifications of is the addition of the backpack and the TP slot. And these heroes that used to be slot starved because they wanted all of these different items, right? When you're playing Lesh, previously you'd have to choose between, you know, you couldn't have the luxury of double null or a free crown and a wand and a bottle and your boots.
Yep.
Whereas now you can keep all of these items and you don't need the TP slot any longer.
So, question for you, Kyle. You saw we've got to look.
And mana pots. You can always have mana pots.
Yep.
Heroes like Gyro Lesh, they had mana troubles when they were trying to farm and accelerate.
Let's
No
get
longer.
Specific question right before we see the last picks here. You look at this NIP lineup in the past, and you would have said the big problem versus Alliance is their team fight. Did we see enough from Gyro in the last 2 games in terms of that spell combo damage going into the mid game? Are you concerned about their team fight?
Not
This is going to be. It looks like potential. I'm not sure. It could be safe lane Gyro, mid Leshrac, or the other way around. I'm leaning toward mid Gyro again and a safe lane Leshrac.
I think you're right. I think it will be an ace. The thing is, it doesn't matter, right? The way that NIP have drafted, it doesn't matter.
It's a great first pick draft.
There is no
this
one.
Is a great first
there is
pick
no
draft.
3. They're playing this game with 3 2s, and then both of their supports will be active. All 3 of their cores are sort of self-sufficient in lane, and you can kill with them quite easily. They are also survivable in different reasons. You have one hero that'll buy a fast BKB, a Leshrac that's very mobile, and then a Bristle that's just going to tank up. I like the Quap because
I like it a lot.
It's a very good matchup against the Gyro, but my concern is that right now Alliance's damage output, the way they have to approach team fights, is effectively walking forwards. They're going to have to get through the creep army, through 3-3, and there is just so much AoE team fight on NIP. Alliance do not have that answer until later on.
You got Stampede, right? And there's not much in the way. Rubik Lift is your instant disable on NIP. I think Alliance can get in on this. I think Alliance are going to have a little bit more flexibility in approaching fights. It's just going to be NIP. If they get all 3 of these cores farmed, I think Alliance is really going to struggle. It's going to be about the lanes.
So yeah, I just think that if NIP don't get crushed in the laning phase, they're going to win simply because they can kill towers so much easier. They're going to strangle Alliance around the map.
The
and sure,
factor.
like, you know, the Crimson Guard blink on the Centaur, a blink on Boxy, like that will change things, but I'm not buying it. I think Quap Koifa needs to play like
Okay.
this perfect game with like 1 death max.
So I'm gonna go with you, Kyle. I think that argument is the dominant thing in evaluating this draft. But I'm gonna say I think this is incredibly close because this is a lineup that I've seen Alliance play. They're very confident laning here, and I think if they get off to an early advantage, you could see them really just choke the map off.
An early advantage. How can you quantify such a thing? It's not easy with words, but it is easy with numbers, especially when they're the best numbers that you've ever seen, created by SAP, our analytical partner, throughout the entire event. But that event, it's coming to an end. It's time for the grand final. It's going to be a best of 5. Both these teams going to the major. Who is going to pull down this first game?
You know, Rich, I like your numbers too, but I like it when I have a man to give me some context to numbers, because that's what makes them really sing. Sind, how do you feel about the draft? Do you like the pace that NIP seem to be working with?
I agree with the panel on this one. I think one of the teams will win. That seems like the most likely outcome in this. The last time we had a draw in Dota was back in, I think, 2016. There was a game that had to be replayed because of a bug. Loda was actually in that game, the coach of Alliance. I think it was a 100-minute game that wouldn't find an end, and then something happened. I don't remember what it was, but they had to replay the game.
Wasn't that that was the game where they had to reload in, and then the Lone Druid Bear refused to act as a hero-controlled unit?
It was interesting. It's a long time ago.
Yeah, you're making me rack my brain.
I seem to remember it being a Naga game and Loda was playing, but those are the only 2 things about it I remember, and it being 100-minute plus.
Yeah,
as far as what they were saying, so to break this down a little bit, I agree with the idea that NIP's lineup will be taking towers really early, and what Alliance have is this really powerful team fight with a lot of stuns. Something I don't really like too much about their lineup, they have like no immediate synergy with Soulbind, which is generally what you're looking for when you pick Grimstroke, right? Like some sort of double Stormhammer or
a Doom or whatever.
Double Fatal Bonds, double Doom, whatever it could be. All right, somebody's very loud in the crowd. That's great to see.
They know how to whistle.
But yeah, so if Alliance don't do well in lanes, they could lose the map really quickly just because their heroes need a bit of time. Centaur needs to get an item, maybe Crimson Guard or Dagger, whichever route he chooses to go. Shaker needs a Dagger. Historically, I've had a bit of a problem with these lanes where you play 2 Dagger. I wouldn't say Centaur's Dagger dependent, but he really likes it, right? Having these 2 heroes lane together, because if this lane gets lost, there's so much of a timing loss for Alliance here. So I'm a bit concerned about this off lane for them, to be honest.
That body block, like Tiger actually, he fissure blocked the wave to hold it back and still aced his body block, kept it at the tier 1 tower. So they're not even out of position. The lane I'm actually kind of interested in just because of the way we saw Alliance really step up yesterday. It's Koifa. Like, this Queen of Pain, how is she meant to match up against now what is a Lashrak? Because the Gyrocopter decided, like, okay, well, I need to go somewhere else, not up against the Queen of Pain.
I think this was the plan from the beginning. I think Chen Gyro is a really great lane. Gyrocopter has a lot of damage output. He just needs something to go in first and go in front and create space, and that's what Chen can do with it. If he finds a good creep with Hold Persuasion, he can do that. Lesh versus Quap, I think it's a pretty even matchup. Lashrak is probably going to max Lightning Storm and stun, and then find the farm he can.
That Inkswell really needed to connect. McKay's coming over, and with a fissure block up, they weren't expecting the rotation to arrive. And 33, we've seen him doing this so much with the Bristleback, just abusing the back lane, but now gets punished. First Blood Alliance.
Yeah, at the same time, Boxy's getting decent experience bottom. That's one of the advantages. Whenever you have the Shaker, he can fissure twice and leave the lane, and Centaur will at least get this level 2 for free. The question right now is what creep is Chen going to get? He actually has no camp. The camp is blocked, and the big camp has small Centaurs, which are Garbo tier. So he's got to go somewhere else, and it's 2 minutes in, he hasn't actually really done anything yet. That doesn't feel very good.
Yeah. It's like, I want to scale something. That's what you want to do first, and have a reason to do so.
I think he might open this camp now. Yeah, he will.
Yeah, one quick sentry. It'll still take some time, though. Like, you need next camp to spawn up. Top lane, a little bit of trouble, as it is going to be Suxa trying to get back down the river, but won't happen. Insania holding the Stroke of Fate for the perfect time. I also love the way he actually started that top lane against 33. He actually used the neutral camp to hit with the Stroke of Fate just to make sure he got the extra buff. Koifa's, okay. Really just going toe-to-toe with Fata, but he doesn't want that. Blink away, salve up. Back to safety in the farm.
Yeah, Fata does seem to be winning this lane a little bit.
They're going again.
Yeah, he's toast.
Inkswell, control. They're just trying to get in front of him. on all three sides. 33 will at least get a lot of cool spray damage, but once again, he'll go down. 3 kills now for Alliance to an unanswered 0 of NIP.
All 3 sides.
Oh, that is too.
Well, there's technically 4 sides.
Bristleback is a triangle, I see.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. You know what? Sim was giving me crap during the drafting phase just for some other stuff, and he actually wrecked Kyle as well. It's like, I should watch what I say, but already, I'm 3 minutes into this game, and I've already hit lethal.
Kyle, man. Okay, so yeah, great start from Alliance. They're up 1K in 3 minutes. They've stabilized basically all 3 lanes. The mid lane is kind of a slight loss for Kiev, but it's so little that we can call it a draw. Troll's having an awesome time. And the Centaur, because he was playing against this Chen, has been also having. He's actually surrounded. Okay, now he's going to be fine though.
on all 4 sides. Chen
is fast,
a little bit of trouble. Boxy going to get back under the tower. If he's going to get the kill with the double edge, Boxy does get it before death.
I'll gladly take that.
We did all that with the speed creep.
Man, this is a okay. So we've seen a game earlier this tournament where PPD had really high impact on the Chen and did so many good moves. This is the reason. These 4 minutes are the reason that I'm so unsure about Chen as a hero, because like
sometimes he's the greatest, sometimes he's just like
there's just this element of, okay, if you have one camp blocked and you don't realize it fast enough, what creep are you going to get? And then when you open it, okay, then you find this Kobold Foreman who's I don't know, not particularly helpful. Is that fair to say? I think that's fair to say.
He's good at making money once he's got money. That's how the kobolds work, right?
He's good at running fast.
He's got a cup. The beggar of the neutral camps.
I've always found it weird that you get a speed aura from running around with a wine glass. That's not really how it works in real life, in my experience.
Alcohol warp
kind of
speed.
the other way around.
Maybe he's got the special
confidence
juice.
Aura. Let's get some bounty runes. Insania will be thrown away. No, he good. Great Fisher again from Taiga.
Still had to get these chains done, so Saksa can't go anywhere apart from down. One more attack from Mickey will do it. And PPD was still able to get the bounty runes on bottom. So
Alliance or NIP got 3 runes at the very least here. And you just see Boxy. He's gonna keep skipping this wave. Looks like he might go for a double bracer build, or at least 1 value bracer for the build up. Magic resistance is great against both Gyro and Leshrac, so I think it's a nice choice. Oh, there's the recall bottom.
Yeah, bring in the Rubik, and this is where Chen's meant to have a purpose. And they're waiting for the right time, pick him up, throw him back, at the chain starts going while Fada being initiated on by 3 in the mid lane. So will both ganks be successful? 3 required from both sides to make it work. But Leshrac for Centaur. I think you're gonna take that if you're Alliance. Keep that Leshrac down, because he needs his farm, right? Like this Leshrac isn't a hero that like can fight against Alliance unless he's got a large amount of items or life, mainly.
Yeah, playing against multiple stuns and reach, I would say, is annoying as Leshrac. Shaker can actually be a really annoying matchup. Just the fissure coming out when you're trying to run people down with Edict, or when you're trying to take towers. Something like Soulbind is also pretty difficult to deal with, so absolutely he needs to get some key items in this game to be really impactful. But the big thing about this, honestly, more than anything, is that Chen had some success, and now I'm just curious to see how does Peter make his next move. Like I said earlier, we had a game earlier in this tournament where PPD did a lot with Chen. I think it was the only game of Chen that we've seen where I felt like, okay, this was really worth the pick, and they third picked it. In this game, it was the overall first pick. And so far, I have not really seen the first pick value.
Yeah.
But perhaps when they come together and he hits level 6 and they start taking towers with Leshrac and Gyro, it might still all be worth it.
There's still that like ability to turn this game into a bit more of a global kind of presence. Like that's where the Chen's able to drag you from one side to the other. Maybe he's able to like do what they did previously with the gank. Alliance looking for their own gank to bottom. Stampede being committed. Now let Koi close the distance. A quick call down, and I don't think it'll still be enough. Ace is trying to survive a Sonic Wave. All right, Koi wants him down and dusted.
That's a good kill. Is that the highest net worth? It's the highest net worth.
#1 net worth in NIP.
Yeah.
This actually allows Troll Warlord now to break ahead. He's already up there by about 400-ish.
Yep. He's enjoying it. I mean, this is what usually happens when you lane against Bristleback with a tri-lane and the Bristle plus support can't fight into you. The hero generally falls behind a little bit. Then you can go and recover with Ancients, or not Ancients, but rather these stack camps over in the triangle that 33 got. So he's actually got the same net worth as his mid Leshrac, even though he has 2 deaths. So his game is not all that bad. But of course, Troll has already been enabled and can just start jungling as much as he likes. He's level 8 already on Mickey with the max rolling axis for the farming speed with Clarities.
This feels really early to have 3 cores in one lane. NIP have pulled them all up to the top lane to push down the tower. Fada can do it decently quick. It's only 2 points in the Edict.
They need to give space to their supports to get levels. That's why they're doing this. Soxa is level 4 and PBD is level 3, and they need experience.
Who from Alliance will come to defend? Troll Warlord's in the neighborhood, and he's going to find Ace. So quick homing missile just lets him keep track of Mickey. And there's more support coming. TP in from Grimstroke. Kiev is rotating up around the back. Does not have the Sonic Wave because they burned it on the bottom. But it is forcing rotations. But they're already leaving. The track went back towards mid because they're wrapping around the mid to try and work with the Chen and Tiger. Yeah, they needed that stun to connect so the Centaur could reach.
Yeah.
There's no troll trap. There's no other controller apart from that Centaur stomp that PBD was bringing in.
Maybe the Wolf can tackle him.
Welcome to the new ability.
It would actually,
Wolf gets like pounce, like Slark pounce.
I think it would be cool if we had a couple more neutral creep abilities. I don't know if tackle would be the one I would go for, but it could be fun with a couple
Can you
more
make it
actives.
happier? Like, we're meant to be like accommodating to mainstream audiences. Like why do you have like Entangle from Lone Druid's
happy
Bear?
tackle, then.
Like, like a happy hug. You get a happy hug.
From a wolf?
You just got HH'd. Like from the big bear of Lone Druid.
That means something else that you don't want to say on broadcast. So, but we'll just pretend that didn't happen.
PPD.
Okay, 1K.
PPD's on the run out of here, trying to get out of the call down. Turns around for half a second. As Mickey, he is out of it.
30 seconds for the bounties.
I don't know, you're dirty wasted. PPD, yeah, he's going to lose both of his creeps and probably... No, they're not committing for his life.
I guess they were reading this rotation and maybe they were scared of a pull with Divine Favor. That's always the thing with Chen. If you're not fully paying attention and you're not sure, there could always be that +1 reinforcement coming. And they know NIP will be fighting for these bounty runes. NIP are very systematic in their approach to getting runes.
Now, Peter has pushed it finally one bar too far. But 33 is doing that stack farming.
How many runes did Lions get? 3? 2?
Hey, that's...
Oh, there's still one that wasn't picked up. So they've got 2, and there's the third one on the bottom that they can go get whenever they feel like. There's no NIP heroes even in the vicinity
there you go. We have a graphic just for your questions, and
yeah, there you see. There's only 3 picked up out of
1 and 2. Boxy will go back for it later on. See, it gains in value. It's like bury a bounty rune.
I'm waiting for this. Okay, so did Chen read a book already?
He
did. The other book goes to Soxa, it looks like. So Peter will be getting his level 6 in a moment. He's finally got some decent creeps here. He's got the Centaur as well as a Wild Wing. And just one more creep experience would get him up to level 6. And this is a big timing. We need to... Hand of God used to not be that good from Chen, but it's been buffed multiple times, and along with the heal increase from Divine Favor, this skill is actually really powerful. And I think now is the timing when NIP will want to try to group up and take towers. I imagine he will summon Fata to the top lane very soon with those 3 points in Edict and get this tier 1.
Maybe just bring the Rubik as well. He's just hit his level 6 as well. Inkswell from Boxy will not be able to connect. As I'll remove as well from my dictionary. It looks like NIP will take that tier 1 tower. No, they didn't.
Okay. You've got to keep up the momentum, though, as NIP. I don't think you're satisfied with just getting this tower. You've got to get to the next and the next again. Mid-tier 1 tower would be a great pickup for them. As Alliance, they're going to try.
They're posturing like they want to come and fight. Rubik is beginning his own TP, but the troll trap. Tiger trapped up, the Centaur able to get the chain storm. We've got a homing missile coming in, plus the call down. A quick stampede allows Tiger to disengage out of this while Koifa jumps in with a Sonic Wave, killing off Gyrocopter. But 33's been stacking up all these cool sprays, and Koifa won't survive in the stolen Sonic Wave. Of course, Sux is going to have that available. Centaur and Quap for the trade of the Gyrocopter. And Alliance, they were the ones that wanted to instigate, but really it all started on the back of Chen.
Yeah, that was great. Really good creep control from Peter there, getting the root, or getting the ensnare into the Centaur stomp, forcing Stampede to just keep the Shaker alive, and Taiga couldn't get back into the fight. He didn't die, but he had 0 fight impact except from 1 fissure because he couldn't re-engage, so...
And look at him
effectively
push.
Took him out of the fight. Yep.
Look, there's so much damage already just through the Bristleback's physical.
I think you gotta pull Lesh for this one if you want to go, though.
Yeah, well, they're TPing around the corner. Tiger, he's right on top of the Observer Ward. He can body block, actually just fissure block 33 and doesn't connect on the stump, but that's why you've got the Inkswell. They don't have the damage output, and they're stacking too high on the core spray. So Koifa into the back lines, looking for Suxa, and he wants to keep on this one, however, doesn't have the big Sonic Wave available. The Chen army hanging with him for the moment. Suxa's going to go down, and the call down was waiting for some kind of retreat, but instead, NIP, they have to chase Alliance back to the tier 2 tower. The Troll Trap can control Meke for just a little bit longer, but Boxy, he's got to get out of here. There's 4 cool spray stacks with Vada turning on the Pulse Nova. He's burning through Koifa as well as Boxy. Boxy's already down Meke. He goes back in again. He's actually getting the swings out. 33, stunned up, rooted up. Tiger Echo slams him down so Meke can stand and fight. They're going to kill off all the cores of the NIP. Chen is the only one out. An Alliance, man, that is one hell of a way to stand your ground on what had to be a beastic of life.
Yeah, and that seemed like a little bit of miscommunication from an IP, to be honest. Peter got out way early. He TP'd away ages before the fight even really broke out. And therefore, they don't have the Divine Favor to pull heroes into position in time, and it is effectively just a 4-on-5 fight. And this call down hits absolutely nothing. Just a really a series of miscues from an IP. This was not that pretty of a fight from them, but Alliance, really nice heads-up play from Mickey here, and good assist coming in from Tiger here. I actually think this Echo Slam, it doesn't look like much, but it might have made just the difference to keep Mickey alive in the end.
It's that half a second stun he needed, right? And even Koifa, like Koifa was on nothing, and he still landed a scream to get that extra bit of damage to bring him down. So Alliance, it's kind of funny, we've seen these guys dive crazily into engagements where they look like absolute fools, and then they have moments like this where everything is just perfect. Perfect position, perfect timing. And that gets them into the lead as far as net worth. It's not by much, but it's really allowing Mickey just to stand up. 7.5k net worth, completed Diffusal Blade, and now going in for the Maelstrom on this Troll.
I think part of the problem for NIP in these fights is that Leshrac is not there from the beginning. I think this is the second or third fight in a row where Fada shows up in the end. And I understand he doesn't want to get jumped, but you have to have something that chains with the Rubik stun. You have no other follow-up except a call down, but that one just gets stampeded every time, right? So you have to be able to chain. Atos is close for Fata. That will be a bit of a game changer. Will allow him to catch the Queen of Pain reliably as well. And this time around, they have brought the Leshrac, but Alliance seem uninterested.
Yeah,
they're not even going to come up here.
And when the smoke breaks, Alliance, that Observer Ward they still have down. So PPD at least gets an Observer and Sentry down himself. The Dire scan and it pings correctly. That's the gyrocopter that's inside of that.
Alliance know they're up here. They look at the map, and with the wards they have, it's very obvious that this movement is happening, whether they're smoked or not.
And they didn't want it anyway. Like, the ES is just about to complete his Blink Dagger. In fact, as I say that, he now has it.
It's good timing.
So they've got their initiation available. Troll can add pressure in towards the mid lane. Koifa's farming up the bottom. And your tier 2 tower's not even going to go down.
NIP are kind of hitting a wall. It's just going a bit too slow. Let's see if they find something here. Foxy is trying to get a read.
The Observer and Sentry gives him a little bit of a slow onto Ace, and Fada is waiting in the tree line to initiate. It's a good Centaur stun, but they can't follow up. Getting hit by that Stroke of Fate. NIP loses so much of their momentum, and of course the Chen army goes down.
And Rubik just stole
Double Edge.
Probably the worst spell he can steal the whole game. I don't think there's anything worse than this. Maybe Enchant Totem. But even then, that might be better sometimes. This is a very, very useless spell to have as Rubik. You want to get rid of it as soon as possible. Get something else. He was hoping to get the Hoof Stomp for sure. In that, with the lens, he can pretty easily reach Telekinesis, toss into himself, and then Hoof Stomp. It's a very long stun chain with the 3 points in Arcane Supremacy he currently has, if he can grab that spell. But Foxy was quick to double edge the creeps, so didn't get that.
This farm speed of the Troll is just really, like, it's 16 minutes in. He's got the Maelstrom coming out in the Courier in a second, and he's looking at the BKB. Like, NIP, it feels like they're going to have a large amount of problems actually just surviving against the Troll. As long as Troll hits his axes, I'm uncertain exactly how NIP are meant to do the damage, because Leshrac can't stand in this. He's at 5.5k net worth. And you got the double crowns to give you some survivability. Insania already feeling the pressure. Stroke of Fate very easily dodged. And in fact, stolen by the Rubik.
I found 4 heroes though, and it gives Alliance the confidence to push the bottom tier 2. The question is if they want to try to defend this afterwards, or if they're just going to take the trade. Make it pushing mid. He could finish this tower. Yeah, he's changing his mind and is going back for it. I think that's definitely the play you make here.
They may even get their own fight. ES is looking for something to initiate onto. Echo Slam is up and Ace is on top of the creep wave. So if Ace wants to show himself for half a second, you know that's going to be the easiest Echo Slam jump of your life. Get the stuns, Koifa's there to help out. With the fissure, there's just non-stop control, and there was nothing Ace could do about that. Alliance just waiting for it, and it paid off.
They get the tower, and they're going to keep snowballing down. Oh, he's actually going to find 33. Is he going to defuse on start? No.
No.
He's not. That is a pretty annoying item to play against as Bristleback, though. Got to remember how mana-dependent this core is and how little he wants to buy BKB. When it comes to extended fights, Mickey could drain all his mana and render him relatively useless. Got to keep those stacks up. Has got the Crimson Guard, though. That is a big item for 33. Are we close to one on Centaur? He's not even buying one.
No,
I'm actually
he went
surprised.
pipe into Blink Dagger, sitting underneath his own shrine as 33, trying to get in there. That's a rather large army from Chen. Because now back up. The Observer Ward's going to time out in a second as well, so NIP are going to lose that vision inside at least the upper part of the Dire jungle. But Kiev has been farming this entire time. He's finished up an Orchid. Another way to just get this easier control, especially if, as you said, like Bristle doesn't want to build into BKB, if you wanted to stop him from doing any kind of quills.
I think Lotus Orb is super good this game for Bristle. He's going to get it later, I'm pretty sure. For now, it's Halberd. Probably the best item he can get against Troll until the BKB comes out from Mickey, but even then, it's about timing. If you get it off beforehand, it's very impactful.
The Dire scam, they see Suxka sitting behind that tier 1 tower. Fisher comes out and they just jump in with the Orchid. It's going to be Silence and Sonic Wave can be Barubic. The Hand of God, he'll actually live through this. Suxka able to survive, and while the rest of NIP rotate over, they're looking at the hillside. In fact, that's where they went for the Shrek stun, but a blink away, Koifa just moves so damn fast, he'll find Ace.
Oh, the homing missile transferred. Oh, okay, he's fine.
He's okay. Whee! We go global. Okay,
Where's the rocket?
You gotta,
oh, he's following it. That's good. That is really nauseating. Good job, JJ.
Yeah, that's just
or
can
Weapons,
we,
whoever it is.
just the way she throws her head down. I think it's Weapons is doing all the observing, I believe. JJ's there to help out and press some buttons. So the tier 1 tower's been taken up on the top lane.
Boxy has a lot of stacks right now on Retaliate. He could proc it if he wants to. He's saving the stacks though. 13 is the max, so we'll be ready for a team fight to hit really hard or to go and take towers at some point if necessary. But good job from him still. He got 2/3 of that.
Time to come bottom. That's an army to kill. The Centaur will start him the second he comes out of it, however. That's still going to be a 3 bounty rune. Actually, no, it was bottled up. But it'll still be 3 bounty runes going the way of NIP.
Yeah. You kind of just have this feeling of the tempo in this game that NIP can't really successfully take towers and put pressure or get Roshan for now. I wonder what timing they're waiting for, if they want the Gyro to get the BKB, which is 2k gold away first, or if they want both Gyro and Lesh BKBs before they fight. Because they're getting blown apart by these stuns and all this magic damage. The Troll is kiteable for their lineup, and it's always dangerous for Troll to use Battle Trance in a team fight against Bristleback, because he can just turn his back on you and tank you the whole fight. So I guess you just have to wait for these BKBs. It feels bad, but it's probably the best play that you have to slow things down a bit.
Rod of Atos is up. That's maybe not the greatest target they wanted. Pipe's already been triggered. Boxy will Stampede, try and run away. Stun 1 from PBD, was unable to be followed up with any other one.
Yeah.
But Stampede has been burnt defensively. What do you get, Suxer? Okay, sure. You'll take it. Ruby's got a staff as well, so it makes sense he can use Stroke of Fate.
This is one of, I don't know, like compared to every other game we've seen this tournament, almost this game seems so quiet. You know, it's like
yeah.
There's just there's the suspense of what's going to happen next. I mean, this is the closest game I've cast so far, so it's great. Right? We've had I've had 4 stomps here, more or less.
The last game I got to cast with you was that was actually the biggest stomp of the entire tournament. High 33, Orchid sounds him up, then Tiger's going to fissure block him in. Is there going to be a follow up? It's coming in, but it's coming in from NIP. And Alliance already feel it, and they will back up.
Yeah.
And it feels like everyone's just so damn tanky that you can't get the kill and get out without these bigger items arriving. Ooh, smoke from Alliance. They want to reveal the Blink Dagger on Centaur, who's TPing in right now. Soulblind on 33 as well as Fada. Hold him in position, Meke into the back lines. Really trying to make sure that Lashraken's gone. He's able to do so. Then turn the attention over towards with the stomp. They keep the Bristleback in position. He can't turn his back when he's stunned like that. Both heroes down, and of course, as the way it normally goes, when you say something can't be done, it's then proven wrong. Well done, Alliance.
That was a great Soulbind. Had to set the whole thing up there. Insania with the Itherlands saw the opportunity, bound them together. It sucks getting Soulbind as Lesh. This hero is really a lot about movement. Oh, Sucks is dead too. Or? No,
he?
they don't see him. Okay.
No,
He's fine.
He's wait.
They actually
wait, what?
They actually just didn't see him in the fog.
If they walked 1 inch to the north, you would have seen him around the corner. And then Koifer even just TPs out. It's like, oh, no, screw this. I need to push waves or do something else. A Rubik is beneath me.
I saw the. I can't believe that you couldn't see him.
Yeah,
Like,
that's,
it really looked like he would be visible in there. But okay,
There was one tree.
there was one tree.
One tree.
There was one tree.
Oh, McKay is now taking the ancient stack of NIP. Koifer has just been spending so much time on this bottom lane as well. And he's been there solo. The experience is just going to be going like higher and higher for Alliance. Like it's already 8,000. Oh, Saxa. He's caught out. Fissure block. Don't let him into the trees. This is his natural environment. Waiting for the totem follow-up stun. There's still more support arriving. And Saxa is locked in position, so Boxy can bring him down.
Oh, they even wasted Hand of God trying to keep both him and the Leshrac alive.
Oh
so
boy.
that's a big ulti down. Chen's impact in the coming fight will be very limited, and this mid tower will fall. You would imagine Alliance might actually just transition this into Roche. They have 30 seconds.
Chief Troll Warlord.
Mika has lifesteal, so
They're blinking forward, looking for extra targets, like killing off part of the Chen army. The Troll Trapper is a good one to get. But yeah, go for Roshan. The fact you got these kills without having to expend a 10-second BKB. Well, they want towers first. Tier 2 tower on top. They're even battling backdoor regeneration. And a BKB also arriving for the Queen of Pain.
I don't see what's stopping Alliance from getting this Roche if they just find any pick off first. Do they have any smokes? There's a smoke on the Grimstroke, so they could smoke up, get a jump with Centaur. If it turns into a kill or a team fight, I feel like they're massively favored regardless, and then they can go and take Roshan. They're going to control this high ground for now. Boxy is scouting, which is very nice. Would like to see them connect a little bit closer so that they can just pounce on any opportunity NP gives them. Imagine if they were up here right now. The game would probably just end if Alliance were showing
Koifer shows.
a couple more numbers here.
Let's see how the initiation happens.
Mika starts ticking away.
Oh,
He got cancelled.
on the side, Troll Warlord, this will be problematic. BKB comes up, no longer problematic with the whirling axes. Fada is dying so quickly. 33 is running through the rear. Chen's being sold up by Koifer for the moment underneath the shrine. They've got the kill and waiting the burn of the shrine. But a buyback from Leshrac, still looking to fight NIP. Centaur Wall Runner, Stampede trying to disengage until the Echo Slam! Tiger comes in, pouncing hard onto NIP. Ace can be protected by the BKB, but it came a little late. Then maybe they have the damage with a flat cannon from the high ground. They're actually losing players here, Alliance, but Koifer, he'll balance up the equation. Chasing around the tree lines, he's not being duped out again this time around. Insania will try and get some extra help to get Koifer out there, but the blink, it just doesn't come off cooldown in time. So at least some kind of rebuttal. 33 claiming over 1,000 gold for that death of Koifer. But it seemed costly to get it.
Yeah, it cost it cost NIP a lot there. The dieback Leshrac, he's so far behind now. Fox, look at his net worth. Holy, he's 7k net worth. Minute 26, he has the same gold as the enemy position 5, who has more gold than his own position 4. So technically he's a 4, but that's not generally how this goes.
We can see the fight again. This is just the end part of it, trying to get out, and then the Echo Slam hits perfectly.
Really nice BKB usage from Ace here. If he doesn't BKB in that moment, this fight is just over, 5-0. But he gets off the BKB perfectly, gets a full flak off, gets a good call down. Did a lot of damage there. There's just this bit missing, right? The Leshrac being dead so early and not getting the damage output.
Yeah.
Bristleback needs so long to build up to start bringing these heroes down. And again, the Chen is just not really there. There isn't much coming out of him right now except his ulti, which he didn't have.
Yeah.
And he even popped the shrine and bought back. So, or did he buy back? He just popped the shrine and died. I think he didn't even have buyback there.
He was just being chased down by Koifer. Like, Koifer's keeping control, and even if he does have the Hand of God, like, Koifer's jumping in and orchiding him so early on that you can't even get the right timing for it. So it seems very rough for Peter. I think the best thing he can have is like buyback, and then hit Hand of God, because that's the way this fight's just seems to be playing it every time. But it just does give you hope for NIP. The amount of damage that comes out of their gyrocopter, like, it's starting to look better and better. As you said, like, just that one piece missing if they can put it in the right place.
You just feel like it won't be that big of a problem if the Centaur just buys a Crimson Guard. I don't know why that is not on the menu right now for Alliance. It's the classic item to get against the gyrocopter. It's also not that bad against Bristle. Sure, it doesn't block the quills, but there's right clicks non-stop in these fights from two heroes.
They're coming to find a fresh Satanic over on the Troll, but they need to come faster, Alliance, because now
Good
the
stop.
runaway, the Rod of Atos, holding the center of position, but here comes your Record Slam again! Tiger combining with the Sonic Wave of Koifa. Lashrak is down once more. They'll find PPD in the trees. Koifa's down with a double kill. Boxy will get another one, and they'll see if they can catch the last retreating hero. One little bristleback to die. Everyone staying on top of him. Give him an extra silence as well. Not that he got enough of those, but get through the Crimson Guard into the right side of him. Down for 74 seconds. Buyback is available, but Alliance will finally now go in for Roshan.
Yeah, at that time, Ace did not BKB in time against the Echo, so he got taken out of the fight. He had to run away really early on. They used so much jumping the Centaur, and it wasn't even really close to killing him off. They call down, they use 3 stuns. He gets 4-staffed once and just stampedes out. When you blow that much of your initiation on a hero and don't kill it, it generally only ends one way. And Alliance are in a really, really good position in this game right now. It's kind of hard to see the avenue of comeback for NIP just because it feels like they only have 2 cores in this game. Fata's game has been miserable this time around.
Like, some level of high ground defense would be good, but with Centaur being this strong, he's going to walk up, give all the information, and Troll with Satanic. Like, this Troll is unbelievably strong. Now with an Aegis the Immortal behind him, getting close to finishing up the Mjolnir? I don't know. It seems difficult, to say the least.
Yeah, how are NIP going to get out of the base now is the question. There's a really good aggressive ward bottom placed just now by Insania, so they see this area around the bottom tier 2 tower. They have an Iron Grip on mid. They also have a ward there now. So if they can just keep cutting this top wave as well, they're pushing in all 3 lanes non-stop. And any move out of the base from NIP without smoke is going to fail, and even with smoke, it's a really tall order. There's just so much stuff they have to deal with. This Troll is immortal. Like, he has Aegis and Satanic and BKB. They're not killing him twice. It's just not possible, unless they kill the rest of his team first. So you can't engage on this guy. You realistically aren't going to engage on the Quap either. She has BKB and Blink.
You don't engage on anyone, really, because like Lotus Orb's going to either dispel, or you send the Troll up with the Lotus Orb on him, and he can just take the tier 3 town by himself. Yeah.
Alliance could definitely start poking high ground here. I'm not sure what exactly they're scared of. They're in a super good position. They can also play the map and extend their lead, like, no problem. But I would at least like to see them try to use the Aegis within these next 4 minutes that they have it. Just start poking mid. Like I said, just give him a Lotus Orb and let him hit. What are NIP going to do with him? It's not like they're going to kill him.
They're waiting for the 30-minute bounty runes. This will actually, I think it gives Koifa enough money that he can afford the full Scythe of Vice.
Yep.
Like, that's
looks about right.
And that's the upside. Committing buyback for it, maybe not as great. And NIP actually going to smoke up inside their own base. Ace is wrapping around the northern side. I'm not certain if he's on a mission to buy.
No, he has nothing to buy. I mean, he can buy a talisman. That's not going to do anything. Okay.
He's cutting the wave on the top, and then he'll have to TP back unless he wants the bounty rune, which was hilarious enough. It's the one rune that Alliance didn't pick up. So hey, mission success.
Here comes the high ground siege.
Yeah,
they have a siege creep.
They have to stop him again. He's just winding up, and this attack speed goes through the roof. If they don't stop him soon, Lotus Orb, pick up and throw back down again.
That's good enough. They almost took the tower. They can chill and let him heal up with Satanic on one neutral camp and then go again. Reckon that's what they're going to do, or he'll just heal up on the wave. Gyro is
he's gone. He's
transitioned.
He's gone bush. He's gone jungle.
This reminds me of Dota 1 when you could have switch on as a mode, where you could switch teams between the players at any point in the game. He's joined the Dire. Nothing like some good old winning team joiners. Oh man, that was the thing everybody complained about in CS 1.6 servers. When in public servers in CS 1.6 you could swap teams, right? You would get called WTJ if you joined the winning team, swapped over to get a better kill-death ratio.
Didn't it have to be? It had to be like approved by your teammates though.
No,
or you could just swap sides. Approved by somebody else.
I think you could just swap sides unless they were too many players on one side. You couldn't swap to that one. I think that's how it worked.
They're finally going to fortify up, and they're really forced into this. They're trying to buy as much time as they can for Gyro to finish this butterfly. I'm not certain it's really the Hallelujah item for NIP, but that's what he had in the quick buy, at least. That's what he still has there. It's like, okay, well, just defend high ground, boys. Like, I got this. Just give me more time. Bristleback's building into the BKBs, only a couple of 100 gold away from that. That's one of the reasons why 33 is on the front lines. Also because you've got the Quill Sprays, which just continue to stack on the Troll Warlord. Mid-tower even being denied. 33's got all the damage in the world to do that. Is someone eventually going to work out the Gyrocopter is AWOL? Haven't seen him report into base for a while.
There's been a couple of circles drawn by, or attempted circles.
Yeah, they're coming back.
By Insania, calling out Gyro's got to be up here farming. There's no way that they play like this in their base.
Hey, there's no camps here. There's no camps. Something's wrong. The population has been evacuated.
Oh my god, this troll is so big.
With a double damage rune, 143 plus 274. Sure. And he's going in for Abyssal Blade. At that attack rate, it's going to be a permanent lockdown on whoever he decides to go on.
Yeah. Do they want to use this DD?
He just switched to Skadi, actually. Like he, yeah, he's switching to Skadi off the Abyssal.
He could maybe get a little bit of damage out on this Rax with the DD, but Alliance are playing it very cautiously. I'm not. Once again, I'm not completely sure what they're scared of.
Ace has finally found the Fidge is going to block him in with the Echo Slam, and Hex arrives in time from Koifa, and that's one very dead Gyro. But hey, they burn a big ultimate. Gyro's dead for 70 seconds.
And are they going to go high ground now? They actually waited out their own Aegis. They had Aegis for 5 minutes and a huge lead.
What are they waiting for? For a Scythe to actually arrive on Grimstroke?
I mean, it's not like they're
on the way.
It's not like they're losing like this. You could argue that that it's NIP that should be trying to do something because they are slowly getting starved out. So it's not like what Alliance are doing is not wrong. It's just you feel like maybe there's a little bit of past experience with failing to high ground kicking in, and now they're like, oh, we lost our Aegis, now let's go high ground. Okay. Well, Gyro's dead, so they feel safe.
The bind did almost nothing. Centaur can be picked up and brought up to the high ground. Exactly what happens. Boxy trapped in here. Meke, he's actually got a lot of stacks up on top of him, but the Satanic is going to trigger. He could just live steal through almost everything. Boxy gets his own little stun, but Meke needs to back off. 33, he wants to keep the stacks going, and that's a quick bounce back. Well done, Peter. They're out. They took Rax.
Yep.
That's what they were waiting for.
They got 1 melee. Now they're going to take the bottom shrine. Looks like Mickey is on to the next objective. And now Alliance have 2 choices. Do we want to try to push another lane while Gyro is alive, or do we want to keep controlling the map and get the next Roshan? I'm not quite sure what NIP are playing for here. They've had a smoke for a long time. If they're waiting for some sort of timing when they think it's going to get easier, I don't think it's going to get easier. Oh, there we finally go. Okay, they're going to smoke behind Ace and hope that Alliance take the bait here.
They were just out of range of the Observer Ward. But this has to be so telegraphed. The creep wave's entering through the bottom lane. They at least get the 35-minute bounty rune, but Tiger took the other one.
Yeah, they got 1 rune. It's not much, but it's honest work. All right, they invaded a little bit. There's no defensive ward for Alliance here, as is to be expected. They're not expecting to get pressured much in their own jungle. They have a read. There's a good, another good drawing here from Insania. And about where the enemy team is, and what's going to happen now is Mika will push in mid, and it will force Alliance back, or NIP back. Actually, no, he's going to TP to his team. They're going to make their own move.
Thought actually NIP would have pushed the tier 2 town, but if Alliance are making their own move, my god, he actually has a scythe. 35 minutes in for Grimstroke. Easy enough.
He's super rich. He has 3 wards, 3 sentries, smoked up his team, double force, well, not double force stuff, unless he wants to use it offensively with Soulbind, which can be funny. But yeah, double hex. Koifa has a hex, so that's 4 hexes.
Well, sucks to get the hell out of there, man. This is
he's dead.
Not where he wants to be, Koifa. He's actually dusting. Oh no, he's going to play the tree line. He glimmer caped after he got hit by the dust and will TP away to safety.
Saksa again, playing the trees.
Father actually tips him. That's his blink dagger. So Rubik looking for maybe a nicer steal if he's able to grab that Echo Slam. I know it's a kind of a tall ask, but
it's not even that.
He needs something big.
He needs Fissure. I think that's the best spell he can steal.
He actually needs Fissure just to split Alliance up.
Echo just doesn't deal that much damage, I think. When you steal Echo Slime, since you don't have Aftershock, you can't chain it with anything, and it can be a good steal on Rubik in the games where you're facing multi-hero lineups that stack on top of each other, or the enemy team has a lot of summons that you can echo off, right? But it's just not that good here. I think the best steals are either Fissure or Soulbind. If he Soulbinds the enemy heroes, maybe they can lay into them with their Gyro Bristleback, and maybe Leshrac can get something done too. He finally has a 10-second BKB, by the way, Fata, so he needs some armor now, I think. He's going Yules.
Blink forward. They realize they're underneath an observer ward. Tiger's turning around, looking for his own fight. Quick sentry ward being planted down. Tiger able to get that fissure off on the run, and it will actually be fissure stolen. Turns it around, gets a stun over on quickly. Grimstroke and Sania needs to die away from Fada. He's trapped in this BKB. Maybe he's got enough life to survive this. No, he doesn't. Meke was right on top of him from the get-go. Grimstroke will still die, and with the Stampede, Alliance look to re-engage, but 33's adding to, they say, human shield for NIP. So Alliance might get what they're looking for. These BKB durations, at this point, they're going to be dropping down pretty low as well.
Yeah.
They're going in again, Insania. You're looking at 33's the one, the Observer and Sentry. They see Saksha on the back line, instantly blink, Echo Slam. Can Rubik survive? No, he cannot. Meke just secures the kill with one swing of his axe.
And this should prompt them to go high ground again. They will try to force a buyback out of both of these heroes. Rubik doesn't have one. Leshrac does, but really doesn't want to use it here, and Meke will get to work. Realistically, they can't kill him because their stuns are dead. So they only have this one homing missile, which is going to nicely get reflected.
Easiest Lotus Orb ever. I'll kill it off before it returns around. Fortification buying some time. Leshrac is back to the world of the living. Doesn't have to commit his buyback at all. Now, Boxy gets the jump in with that Bloodthorn. Rosaback's in a lot of trouble. Vada needs to help out. The call down, and Ace with the flag cannon. Finally, we're seeing NIP doing some real good damage from up on their high ground. They get 2 kills. Meke canceling his TP away.
That was ugly.
They all grouped up and said, hey, can you hit us?
It was flat out just a misplay. You saw Mika typing my bad in chat after, because there was a homing missile that came in and he didn't BKB it. So at the same time that Alliance were jumping in with the Centaur and the Shaker, their troll was stunned. And he wanted to be able to follow up on that during those chain stuns, just get 1 or 2 kills immediately, but he got delayed. A little bit of a failure there from Alliance, but honestly, they have so much of a buffer that it doesn't really matter just yet.
Look how fast they move. NIP into the pit, Dire scanned it out, so Alliance will be very aware of this, but no Echo Slam. Centaur's going to buy it back, but NIP, they've got to commit to this. Meke, he's running in right underneath that sentry board. So NIP knew they've already taken half of the life off Roshan. They kind of need to get back in there. They just lost all their nasal goose stacks on him too. Got great vision on the northern side of Roshan, but they need to get a pick off if they want to go back in.
Meke is scouting it. He might just try to solo it, honestly.
The Observer and Sentry sees him moving. Observer Sentry also sees the TP onto the Shrine. Boxy's coming forward. Lotus Orb will protect him. Everything just gets sent back around again. ES control for the moment. And maybe they actually have enough to kill off Tiger. 33's on top of him, combining with Fada, but the BKBs have already been committed. It's a 1-1 trade-off. But you're happy, it's just a Chen. Goifa, he'll jump in with his own BKB. There's only going to be Blink stolen out, but the damage output combining with the cooldown. Now it's Ace's turn from the low ground. You've got the run out from Boxy, but the damage, it should be enough. It is from Ace. Goifa's already got himself a double kill, and Ace is TPing away to safety. There's the long death times on both ES and Centaur. They die once again. Over 100 seconds on Centaur.
Oh, I wondered if they were going to do this. I think this is the best play on the map that they have. Buy back the Bristleback and go again.
Yep.
Try to get the Roche with these 2 heroes dead. See if you can get it for yourself instead of this troll. And if Alliance make a misstep here and you get a good fight out of it, this could be a little bit of a way back into the game for NIP. Gaben is slowly giving them a chance of winning. We've gone from about 0 to 5, so that's good.
Yeah, if you're leaning closer to your monitor to actually see that number.
Yeah, I'm very blind and old, like Nahas. Looks like Roche is...
Casual gray shade.
They can't do it.
No,
the Shaker just got his buyback. If that buyback doesn't come out from Taiga, I actually think they take it.
But they kind of need to commit to this. You've picked up the Vlads on 33. He got this just for this whole engagement. But now Meke, he's going to go in, look towards Roshan, and now it's turning to a point where they have to contest the fissure. It's keeping 33 out. They can't get inside the pit.
Nice figure.
So it's just Aegis the Immortal into the hands of Meke, and Queen of Pain grabs the cheese, and Alliance are out. What a perfect line wall. They built it up.
That's so...
That's watertight.
It's so crucial that he gets the gold for that buyback. I think when he had 40 seconds left on respawning, he didn't have buyback, and then he got it just in time for them to make that play. Crucial moment there from Taiga. Nice fissure to just make things completely safe. Aegis goes on the back of Troll again. He's going to backpack his Diffusal Blade. I wonder if they should have given Aegis. Who else was in the pit with Troll? Was it
Queen.
the Queen?
Queen, and she took the cheese.
I think it could have given the Aegis to Queen. But I understand from the sieging perspective that you want to put it on the troll so he can just hit the towers, but at the same time, he really shouldn't be dying.
But he's going to start with the silver
With all
edge.
the protection
Like,
they
he's going to nail with the silver edge, try and bring down the bristleback, and be that sacrifice at the beginning and then just switch it in later. I get you, man. Diffusal like was his starting item that really just started causing problems for NIP. Now MKB completed for the Troll Warlord. Not like he's got enough items.
Oh, he sold the Diffusal.
He actually lost the entire thing for MKB. Yeah, he did.
How much evasion do the Radiant heroes have? Bristleback has the Halberd and
The butterfly.
Butter on Gyro. Yeah, okay. That's
and see the change in the mindset now. Now they didn't get Roshan. It's Divine Rapier being queued up on Ace.
yeah. He needs it for sure.
Yeah.
It's the one chance they have coming back is like a big flat cannon fight.
He was trying to go for the MKB first. I think if they took Roshan, they probably would have gone down that road. Now Meke, up to the high ground. A lot of Atos. Instantly BKB's up. They want to kill up 33. Running forward.
God,
And 2 minutes on the sideline. Fada's already left. This game does feel like it's over at this point.
My Bristleback just died from the back. I'm fucking done.
Oh, yeah. I think this game is actually over right now. No, 2 minutes without a Bristleback. They don't have a front liner anymore.
I think Fata has wanted to get out of this game since minute 15. So I think this is about time now to just call it, get on to next game.
Yep.
They can't fight without Bristle. This game, realistically, the game is over now already.
Yeah,
he has no buyback for 2 minutes.
You know, if we had cameras on the players at the moment, like they're not even sitting in their chairs anymore.
Guess his PC crashed.
Maybe.
Tech.
Maybe. Yeah, we
He is
see
reconnecting.
nothing from where we are.
Well, it does look like he's reconnecting at least. So.
Hey, here's our cameras. Oh no, I'm here. I'm here.
There we go.
A lot of smiles on the Alliance side. Hey!
All right. PPD's ready.
Okay, they need their fluids. Alliance is not. They're having a beverage before the end of this game. This is called a drinks break. We're playing game of cricket right now. Calling for bad light. And we're back into the world of the live. As they're diving in. Rax back inside the game, silenced up, but this is the bottom lane of Rax that Alliance will take. They can rotate up towards the top because there is no tier 2 tower. But NIP, if you are mounting a defense at any point, this is probably going to be that point. Smoked up
How
from
do you
Alliance.
possibly defend without Bristleback? He's been the reason they've held
A lot of
for this long.
Atos, look for the stun, maybe while the BKBs are down. Lotus Orbis protecting Meke, but remember, so is the Aegis, the Immortal. He's got Immortality to do the work. A jump in the back lines, Rubik at least gets the stun into that line, but now it's Koi, but they jump out with the Echo Slam. The double fissure stun. Double buyback, so Lashrak and Rubik are back into the game. But for how long? Meke still got the Aegis, the Immortal. He burned Satanic and BKB previously, so his life is already looking pretty damn good. Ace, now it's his turn with the flat cannon. How much damage have you got, Ace? Show me the money. Show me something. Show me anything other than death. I got shown death. NIP, they've lost top lane of Rax. They've lost game 1. GG. Alliance claim it. It took 44 minutes, but it was efficient and it was quality.
44k gold lead. That's good. That's a lot of gold. Can buy you a lot of items. Would have been nice to have on Lashrak this game. Okay. All right. I'm kidding. This game, honestly, this game kind of boils down to NIP had a timing strategy with this like kind of mid-game oriented 5-man push that they wanted to play.
Yep.
They got countered on a couple of the early moves really well by especially I think the Shaker of Taika had some good reads on the map where to be at the right time. And when you get slowed down like this with this strategy and Alliance just get to free farm, you get to the team fights. Alliance's team fight is super strong.
Yep.
You're missing like that couple of 1,000 gold on the Leshrac, and you're missing a little bit extra on the Gyro to be able to push it just over that edge. Because they had a couple of team fights that were pretty close.
That was a great one. Just south of Roshan, and like you had everyone walking away on such low life on Alliance. It's like Leshrac survives 2 seconds longer. And that fight is totally different. But also, if the Troll didn't have a free lane like he had, maybe we'd be looking at a different game, because he just built up so much, and then you had this push power. Like, it's what Alliance always look for, right? Quote for goes for a nuker. You need to have that heavy push, and it came. It was wonderful. Yep. And but that's still only game 1. This is a long slog. Full 5 games is what we're looking for. Potentially, it's a best of 5 to see who will take #1 position here at the minor.
of thing where I feel like I would actually push the whole craft forwards. I could give people something that they would enjoy.